Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome to Satsang today. Today I want to take the time to actually answer some of the viewers' questions one-on-one. And while I do that, let me remind you that you can always send any questions that you have for me to answer, or questions that you are struggling with, to the email address that is right here, adyananda@sivaom.com. And you can send your queries or questions or comments to this email address, and maybe your question gets picked the next satsang, and I will try to do my utmost best to answer this question, of course. So, well, without further ado, let's look into some questions that we got today. Adyananda, I heard you say on different occasions that yoga is the ultimate expression. How do I see this? How do you see this? Okay. And I will try to elaborate on that. You see, when we say yoga, for most people, it probably means twisting the body into the most impossible postures. Tie yourself into a knot, and that's yoga. This is not what yoga is about. Among the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali, which form the basis, the bedrock of today's yoga, only one sutra is dedicated to asanas, to the postures. One sutra. And all Patanjali said was stiram sukhamasana, a posture which is comfortable and firm. That's your asana. So asanas are a preparatory step, a very preparatory step. But unfortunately, these days, the postures and the asanas are being propagated as the whole of yoga. See, yoga means to be in perfect tune. But unfortunately, there are so many misconceptions about this. Your body, mind, and spirit, the existence are in absolute harmony. This is what the union, this is what yoga means. So when you fine-tune yourself to a point where everything functions so beautifully within you, And the best of your abilities will naturally flow out of you. That's it. Because have you noticed that just a little happiness can liberate you from your usual limitations? Your limitations of energy and capability. And when you're happy, your energies always function better. You seem to have this endless energy, right? And it doesn't matter even if you do not eat or sleep, you can go on and on. If a little happiness can do this, imagine if your body and mind were functioning in complete harmony, in a complete different state of relaxation and a certain level of blissfulness. We would be released from so many things that most people are suffering from. For example, let's say you have this nagging headache, and your headache is not a major disease. It's still a throbbing pain that can take away all your capability, all your possibilities to function that whole day. But with the practice of yoga, your body and mind will be kept at their highest possible peak. But let's move away from this physical. There's also other dimensions of yoga. When you activate those energies, you can function in a different way. Maybe right now you consider yourself to be a person. You are identified with many things. But what you call myself is just a certain amount of energy. It's like science, modern science says that the whole existence is just energy manifesting in itself, and manifesting itself in different ways. And you are just a certain amount of energy functioning in a particular way. As far as science is concerned, this same energy, which you call myself, could be a rock, could lie there as mud, stand up as a tree, or manifest as you. Everything consists of, and everything is, the same energy functioning at different levels of capability. Similarly, along human beings, though we are all made of the same energy, we do not function at the same level of capability. What we refer to or experience as capability, talent, or creativity, just your ability to do things in the world, is just a certain way your energy functions. And that means that you just look at it like flowers. In one plant, the energy functions to create a great smelling flower, like a rose or a tulip. And in another, it functions to create a surging hot pepper. It's the same energy, it makes the plant grow. The one in one way and the other in the other way. So it's all the same energy that's manifesting in itself, or manifesting itself in various ways. And this is the experience that a number of people who started doing yoga practices have. It's the inner understanding, the inner balance of creating situations the way you want them. You know, with the same mud that we built huge buildings. Today, initially, people were building little huts. Still are in some parts of the world. Because they thought that was all they could do with it. Yet today, haven't we built flat buildings, computers, fast trains, airplanes, with that same energy, with that same earth? We thought we could only dig out earth and make pots or bricks. Now we have found oil and can make plastic and computers and cars and whatever. It's all the same energy. But we have started using them for higher, more complicated possibilities. They're coming to take me away. But similarly, there is a whole technology as to how to use these inner energies for higher possibilities. See, yoga is a tool to find the ultimate expression of life. And that ultimate expression differs from human to human. Although without the knowledge, humans do not have the chance to explore it. And that's why I think it's important that every human being is at least offered the knowledge of how to use these inner energies, how to use yoga, how to use meditation on a daily basis. Because otherwise, you see, life becomes very limited and almost accidental. Once you start activating your inner energies, your capabilities, everything starts happening in a different atmosphere, in a different light altogether. So when I say yoga, like the question you asked, is the ultimate expression, what I mean is yoga is the tool to find that ultimate expression to life. And every human being must explore it and know this. Okay. So I hope that answers that question. Let's see if there are other questions that we can answer. And still, let me remind you, if you too have a question that you want to see answered, or you want to discuss your ideas about yoga or meditation, or the idea of oneness, don't hesitate and email me on the address right here, adyananda@sivaom.com. And then your questions can be chosen to be answered right here online. So, oh, this one is nice. Adyananda, why do bad things happen to good people? Yeah. Everybody thinks they are good people. That's the part of the problem right there, I think. It's always somebody else who is the bad person, right? What is good and bad in this world is essentially social aspect. Because everybody, every culture, every person has their own values, their own concepts, their own ideas of right and wrong, good and bad. And if you look back at societies of the world, everybody creates their own idea of good and bad. Mostly depending on how it was necessary for a certain lifestyle in a certain time in history and a certain part of the world. So this has created a huge difference in ideas of what is acceptable, what is good, and what is bad all over the world. This is what brings enormous conflicts in this world today also. So being good or bad is just a question of the way you think. It's not a parameter of determining what happens to you. You see, existence doesn't care whether you are good or bad. If you are in tune with something, it works for you. If you're not in tune, it doesn't work for you. It's simple as that. You know, people always think they are good, bad. Others are good and bad. We have to put or slap this label on. Our mind is always looking for answers, and labeling everything will make the answer so much easier for the mind. But people who think they are good, always wondering, I am such a good person, but my business isn't working properly. My neighbor doesn't behave the way I want him to. My children do not do what I want him to do. And then there is this person that I know who is this terrible pain in the arse. and his business is going great. I even notice his children now listen to him. In my case, not even a dog is listening. So why is creation, why is the universe, or why is God not helping me? Yeah. You know, you may be good, but if you don't do the right things to be successful, you are not going to be successful. If you are a bad building engineer, the building you make or building is going to crumble, is going to be destroyed. You can be the most sympathetic man in the world. You can be the most nice person in the world. If your knowledge about building is bad and you are a builder, you're bound to get in trouble, right? So your goodness isn't gonna make it stand or fall. It doesn't. Now, someone else may be everything that you think of as bad, but he's a good builder, he's a good engineer. His building will stand. So every situation that arises in life, every situation that you will encounter, needs to be handled as it should be handled. You know, if you're bad, will the air refuse to give you oxygen? Will the flowers in your garden refuse to bloom? Will the sun not shine on you and keep you warm in the sun? Will food not give you nourishment? When the creation itself is not making any distinction. Who are you to sit in judgment? Right? So don't hang up on this idea of good or bad. Just do what is needed to do. That's it. Okay, let's go to the next question, but first let me have a sip to drink. So the next question I got is, do we as humans have a free will, or do we speak of a predestined path? So is there destiny, or do we humans have a free will? The problem is you create most of the things you create unconsciously. But nothing is predetermined, not even that. Everything has to be created by you or within you. This doesn't mean that you are aware of this process. Like I said, problem is most of you create things unconsciously. So this gives you the idea it's been heaped on you from somewhere else. It's been thrown at you. And you have consciously and unconsciously written a certain software for yourself, which develops certain tendencies. And no matter what you try to do, it's so compulsive that it tends to move on in a particular direction, because that's the way your software is programmed. Yeah. That doesn't mean you cannot redirect yourself. If you can create something unconsciously, you can also create it consciously. But it needs to be an effort that goes beyond body and mind to completely change the basis of that software, to put it in a different direction. The whole effort of the spiritual process is just like that. To see that you create your life consciously instead of creating it unconsciously and blundering through. Once you have made that effort, you will see more and more of life becomes self-determined, not predetermined. There is a huge difference between those two. So if you gain mastery over your body, your mind, and your energies, you can say, I will be 100% the master of my own destiny. And that way it doesn't feel like everything is just thrown at you. If you have mastery over your physical body, say 20 to 25% of your life will be in your hands. If you have mastery over your mind, about half your life and destiny will be in your hands. And if you have mastery over life energy itself, then all your life and destiny will become your playfield, will come in your hands. That's the moment that you can become self-determined, self-steering, so you want. You can start this process in several ways. You can start moving from compulsiveness to consciousness right now, today. A practical way would be starting to do things you don't like for a certain amount of time. Let me start by saying this. Once you do that, you will feel resistance. You will notice that especially the mind will give you resistance in this. But doing things you don't like will create an atmosphere of doing what you have to do and taking control. Because if you do not act conscious in consciousness, then you'll be in the situation that everything feels like it's hit at you again. Yeah. So the things that you like, you can do them quite easily, even unconsciously. But whatever you dislike, you cannot do unconsciously or easily. You can only do it consciously. You can only do it if your attention is focused on them, because there isn't this easygoing flow that is in that situation. So, yeah. Suppose you have to speak to someone that you do not like at all. You will be conscious of every word you utter and say, and every step you take. But when you're chatting to friends, you simply blabber on without a record of what you're saying. The person who you dislike, and you can't stand that person, their very sight creates all kinds of negative things within you. But if you go and talk to them and work with them joyfully, many limitations will start to vanish, start to break and disappear. So if you do what you like with 100% involvement, just try and do the things you do not like with 200% involvement, then it's guaranteed to break those limitations in life. So that's when it comes to destiny, you know. Take back that control and do that by doing the things that aren't the most obvious, because those we can do automatically without too much trouble and too much tension. Okay, then we do one last question. Adyananda, how do I become aware? How can I cultivate awareness. How can I become aware? You know, everyone is making choices, but choices made in unawareness and are compulsions. Just let's say you get angry right now. It's actually your choice to become angry, because somewhere you believe that that's the way to handle a situation. That's the way you handle frustration, right? Becoming angry. But a choice is made in such an unawareness, because you have made that choice automatically so many times, that it now has become a compulsion. It is happening compulsively on a different level. So, you are living by choice. But choices are being made without awareness. Unconscious choices. The whole thing is to shift into making conscious choices. You know, even with a simple act like waking up in the morning, the unconscious choice is that you do not want to wake up. When the sun rises, you pull the sheets up a little higher over your body and over your face. That's the unconscious choice, you know. The physical body wants to remain in bed for some more time. And the reasons for not wanting to get up can be legion. There are so many aspects of life and so many limitations in your experience of life that in many ways, unconsciously, you are not ready to look forward to the day. So let us say tomorrow you have planned a gathering with a friend. And before the sun rises, you would wake up that day. Consciously, you have decided the previous day that you are going to meet your friend, and you are excited. You are looking forward to tomorrow. It's a joyful experience. So when the alarm clock goes off, you jump out of bed and you're ready to go. Otherwise, unconsciously, you try to pull the sheet higher up your face because this light is not something you are looking for at the moment. You know, with light comes today's stock prices. With light comes today's problems. Comes today's house chores. Comes today's financial problems. Comes today's children being asking you all kinds of questions and keeping you busy throughout the day. With the light comes all those things that we are unconsciously trying to get away from. But now you have something happy planned, something nice planned. So you're joyful to wake up. Now, I am not asking you to be the light of the world tomorrow. What I do ask you is try to make this one choice a conscious choice from tomorrow on. Make that one choice a conscious one. decide that you will be joyful waking up. Just realize that this breathing that goes completely by itself, that is a completely unconscious process, yet it's such a little thing that we don't even notice it, that we're doing it throughout the day. Breathe in, breathe out. All it takes is the next breath not to come, and we're gone, right? That's it. End of the line. So what else do you need except the knowledge that you made it to another day? You are alive. If that's not a reason to wake up joyfully, I do not know what is. This is how fragile life is. This is how strong and fragile life is at the same time. It's a wonderful thing. So make the choice to consciously wake up. And even after you woke up, you have the automatic choice that you can't do anything because you need coffee first, and because everything is terrible before you have your coffee. We've all been there. So that's the unconscious choice that says you need your coffee. You have to have coffee. And the body feels comfortable with that because that's the choice that you have made for so long. This is the time that you can make a conscious choice to say, no, I will have a bath or a shower. And I will do my sadhanas first. Yeah? I will do my mantras and my practice first. Make that your new unconscious pattern. That's a choice you have. And then again, we return to the previous question that it seems like we have to do the things that are actually uncomfortable. You know, that's one of the reasons why ascetic paths were set, simply because of that. If you start doing things that are naturally not comfortable for you, if you have to do something that you do not like, you can only do it consciously. There is no other way to do it. Things that you like, they come by themselves. This is why the ascetic path. You can start doing everything consciously. And there's no other way to be. You are practicing how to be conscious in various situations in life. You know, when you are hungry, the natural urge is to grab food and eat. But you make a conscious choice. I am hungry, but I'm not eating. To stay away from food, there is no other choice except being conscious about it. To go and eat, you don't need consciousness. You can simply go, grab it, stuff your face. These simple things in life are set up so that you start doing more things consciously. So maybe initially your awareness is only for 20 minutes, half an hour a day, and the rest is going on the automatic pilot. That's fine. Gradually, by doing your sadhana, by doing your practice, by doing things you don't like, by doing things you do like, and try to do them consciously while being aware, you are bringing awareness into several aspects of your life. You know, the idea of cultivating awareness is so that it slowly seeps into your life. One thing it does is it enhances the quality of your life. But that's not everything. The main aspect is that if you can maintain awareness in various kinds of situations, only then will you ever become capable of being aware of the moment when you have to part with the body. The moment that you realize, I am not the mind, I am not the body. This little subtle jump from being the little ego that always runs against walls into this complete awareness. The jump from being the doer into being the one that is looking at the whole display, the one who's looking at the story unfolding. It's that small thing you would miss if you choose to act unconscious in life. So the idea of cultivating awareness is so that it slowly seeps into your life. One thing it does is it will always enhance the quality of your life. Okay? So these questions asked, these questions answered, I hope you will be able to make more conscious choices in your life, that you will search for the ultimate expression of life, which is awareness, which is awareness in action. And the awareness of I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am that. Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that. Thank you for joining me this satsang. Until the next time, always be present. Namaste.